The Cowboys trading for quarterback and former number 3 overall pick Trey Lance, sending a 4th-round pick to the 49ers. You need to hear both Jerry Jones and Dak Prescott after the deal this weekend.
Did you guys give Dak a heads up that this was coming? Did anybody in your organization give Dak a heads up that this was coming down?
No. We didn't tell anybody until we did it. Period. There was nobody that knew it. We told Mike after we'd done it. But my point is, we just wanted to get it done.
I can't say that I necessarily expected it, no. I understand that that's business. I understand that they're probably on a timeline. They need to get something done. And as I said, he felt like that strengthened this team. To be honest with you, I'm not surprised by anything anymore. He's been in this league 8 years, been on this team. It's hard to say that I was surprised, to be honest with you.
Dan, what were you motioning to me?
Look at his face. Like his body language, his face says, like, what the heck are we doing? Why are we doing this? I'm your unquestioned guy. I'm in a really important. So here's my thing. I think for Dallas, I understand the move. It makes sense. Your 4th-round pick for the number 3 pick of 3 years ago. To not tell your starting quarterback, the face of your franchise, is so dumb. So Jerry Jones, respectfully, you want me to believe that this is nothing in a situation where your quarterback is coming off of the worst season of his career. He's missed 17 games in the last 3 years. In his last 2 playoff appearances, he's lost and scored a combined 29 points. And he threw the most interceptions he has ever last season. And we as the public are supposed to think this is nothing, or we shouldn't talk about it, or you don't need to tell him?
One more thing, the contract next year.
$60 million hanging over his head. And I said this in the first hour. So one of the things that makes the quarterback position so unique is from the very moment you are named a quarterback, I don't care if you're 8 years old or you're 18 years old, you are taught this is your football team. You take control of it. It's ownership. You got to be vocal. Everything you do, everybody's watching. And so you take years and years and years to build that. And then to go take a situation and say we're going to add a person to that room or take away a person from that room and not tell you, it's stupid. Because quarterbacks are naturally going to go, how can you expect me to be unquestionably the leader of this football team and then make a move that directly impacts my ability to go lead that football team in some way, and you don't tell me at all? You don't give me a heads up? I haven't earned that right. We don't have a relationship where you at least can give me the notification that this is going to happen. But by the way, you want me to go play the best football of my career, and you want me to go lead us through the most difficult 5 months. Yeah.
Dan, you're asking questions that Jerry Jones has already given you the answer to. No, he doesn't need to have a conversation with Dak. No, he doesn't need to run it by him. And yes, for the next 5 months, Jerry Jones is going to expect Dak Prescott to lead this team. And you know what Dak Prescott should use this chance, use this opportunity to do? What? Go lead the team in spite of. He should walk into that locker room, embrace Trey Lance, and while embracing Trey Lance, let everybody in that locker room know that I'm still here. Let everybody in that locker room know I'm still present. I am still the guy. That's what Dak Prescott has to do. This is for us to talk about. And it is, because it's fun and it's confusing, because normally what we know is that the quarterback, especially when he is the guy, is in lock. It is dumb, but it's Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones ain't tripping on what we think is dumb. Jerry Jones is going to do what Jerry Jones wants to stink and do. And Dak Prescott's job is not to run this team. Dak Prescott's job is not to make this thing a $10 billion company when Jerry Jones bought it for millions back in the day. His job is to win football games. And you know when Dak Prescott would never have to question if he's the unquestioned leader if he goes out and win a Super Bowl. This is a conversation because we know that Dak played below the line last year. And so when Dak plays below the line and this happens, it's an issue. If the Philadelphia Eagles right now went out, got Trey Lance to back up Jalen Hurts, would we be having this conversation?
But
you know what the conversation would be? Exactly. So this situation is more about Dak Prescott than it is Jerry Jones. It's about Dak Prescott having to go out and prove what he needs to prove, having to go out and take total control of the quarterback position, having to go out and get past the divisional round. We're not having this conversation because Jerry Jones went and did a Jerry Jones thing. We're having this conversation because last year, Dak Prescott didn't do Dak Prescott things.
I agree. Here's my thing, RC.
By going out and making plays.
I totally agree with you. And this is the opportunity for Dak to do that. And again, I learned a little bit of this with the Carson Wentz, Jalen Hurts situation. But I think about it like this. Hypothetically, they open up with the Giants and the Jets. Let's say they start 0-2.
Yeah.
And he doesn't play great. All you're doing now, if you're Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys, is taking your quarterback and your coach, who you told nothing about this, and instead of, hey, we got to play better, it's a long season, we got Arizona coming up, we got to take it one day at a time, Dak knows he's got to play better, you will start to field questions about this situation. You will start to have the answer of, I'm telling you it'll happen. It'll happen, and that's why. RC, you know the NFL.
Let me get Darlington in. Let me get Darlington in. Go.
I want to agree with you, Dan, but this happens everywhere in the NFL all the time, and we just expect the starter to step up. I mean, in a totally different kind of market, Ryan Tannehill in Tennessee the past 2 years has had to fend off draft picks each year in Will Levis and Malik Willis the year before that. And he has, and it's no big deal. He's the starting quarterback, paid the big money to do exactly that. If Dak Prescott can't fend off the questions about Trey Lance, who was a failed backup quarterback with the 49ers, then maybe he shouldn't be the starter. Dak Prescott can handle this, and he will handle this.
I don't disagree.
Exactly.
Hold on, real quick. The difference, guys, is Ryan Tannehill, Jeff, was coming off leading Tennessee to the 1 seed and being a career year. That's the difference. Dak is coming with, and I agree with you guys. It's a great opportunity. This is not a question of is Dak mentally tough enough for this, but when he's answering those questions, look at his face. He's sitting there going, I really got to answer this question because I didn't know anything about it. I'm not sitting here saying he's going to take his job. What I'm sitting here saying is, for a guy that's coming off his worst season, for a guy that's missed 17 games in the last 3 years, for a guy that has a $60 million contract hanging over his head and the questions of, is an extension going to happen, to do this move and in no way give him a heads up, whether you want the move to happen or not, it's dumb to do that to your quarterback. I'm not budging off that.
Dan, it might be dumb. It might be dumb, but it can also be genius if you approach it in the right way. Because you know how I would approach this if I'm Dak Prescott? Well, you're telling me I have something to prove. Because here's why when you make a decision, you go ask your wife, Dan. This is why you call Tiff. Because Tiff is doing what the hell she's supposed to be doing. If Dak Prescott was doing what the hell he was supposed to be doing, that's the conversation you have with him. Maybe for the Dallas Cowboys, they're saying it's been too easy around here. It's been easy street. We've given you the keys to the kingdom since Tony Romo got hurt. Maybe you should have a little pressure. Maybe there should be somebody behind you that can play. Maybe you have to prove to us this is your position. Now go do it. They didn't bring Trey Lance in and say, hey, Trey, you're the starter. As soon as Dak messes it up, it's going to be you. No, they got depth. They got some depth. That's it. This is the dude that couldn't beat out Brock Purdy and Sam Darnold. I'm not scared of that man. The only way Dak Prescott is not the starter is if Dak Prescott doesn't play well. Maybe that's the message you're trying to send. The message we're trying to send is we don't rock like that right now where I feel the need to have to come tell you this. You don't have that sort of holder position where I got to consult with you. I'm not asking for forgiveness, and I ain't asking for permission neither. Now go play the position.
RC, I'm with you, and I completely agree. But we can't live in a world where 2 years ago it was the Cowboys haven't paid Dak Prescott his contract yet. Why are they playing these games with him? This is unfair to a player that has obviously outperformed that contract. And then the contract gets done, and they go 12-5 in 2 consecutive seasons. And now it's another sign, it's another signal of maybe you're not worthy of the power that you would potentially expect or whatnot. Like, we can't live in both those worlds. He is either the franchise, I get the depth conversation. I get it. But because of what this situation is, to not notify him in any way, to not communicate with him in any, not only him, not even the head coach.
All right, here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I want to do.
That
Everyone,
part's
hold on.
funny.
We have
That
spent
part's funny.
18 minutes. Hold on a second, guys. We have spent 18 minutes this morning so far on this story. And because I've not been able to interject, we've not even gotten to the most important part of it yet. So I am now on the air telling our producer, Sam Tanucci, whatever it is you had next, I am officially ripping it up.
What's the most?
Stay tuned for more updates and exciting developments from your favorite team. Remember, your subscription is incredibly important for us as we continue to bring you the latest news and insights about the Dallas Cowboys. Thanks for your unwavering support, and we'll see you in the next video.